Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Salon Talks with Sony. Today we have a special guest. I would like to introduce to you guys the man behind the camera. No, my friend, the photographer, the great creative director. He does everything at this point. I don't know. He owns a production company, all of the things. You guys check him out on Instagram. You want to link your Instagram for them?
So my Instagram is Rashad, RA2 HAWD. I'm a photographer by trade. I also work in digital marketing. So y'all follow up and let me know if y'all need anything.
Yes, we're so excited. Today's episode is going to be a little emotional one. You guys, grab your tissue. I'm a crybaby, so warning. Grab your tissue, grab a glass of water, anything you need for comfort at this point. We're going to dive in just a little bit deeper than usual. Today's episode is on grieving a parent, the loss of a parent, and that's sadly something we both have in common. And yeah, we're just gonna dive in on how we maneuvered life with grieving a parent, and how grieving isn't something that happens just for that moment. It's a lifelong lesson that you continuously learn. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and jump right on in. I'm gonna ask him a few questions and we're just gonna go back and forth between conversation. So first, a question. Can you share a little bit about your relationship with we both lost our fathers, by the way, so that's what this conversation is going to be on. About your relationship with your parent, your dad. Can you share just a little bit about that?
Yeah, so my dad was an amazing man. We had a great relationship. I looked up to him in almost every way, and to lose him was kind of felt like I was losing myself a little bit. Because he was that person I can go to bounce ideas off of and not feel like I'm being judged. He was more like a mentor than anything. Even though we did have our spats, we were both mature enough to understand that our relationship was more important than anything. So lost my dad when I was at like 30, 31, I believe. Wow. Yeah, and I'm 33 now, so it's been a couple years, but love you, Pop. Real talk.
Okay, that was good. Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing. How did you find out that he had passed?
Hey, so this is a hard one, y'all. So y'all buckle up. You know what I'm saying?
Bear with us.
So my dad, he was kind of going through a little something. He had a couple of seizures, and I just had to make sure I was next to him at all times.
Right.
And it just happened to be this one time where, I hadn't checked on him in a day or so. Mm-hmm. And something was just like, hey, go to his house. Like, he wasn't answering my calls that day. So, I just pulled up at the house. And when I got there, the door was open. Like, when I say open, like, not like physically, it was physically open to where I could peek inside.
Right.
Which was weird. My dad is very... he's a certain type of way when it comes to that. But so with seeing that already kind of shook me. So I walked in and I found him passed away. So I was the first person to see him, and first I thought he was asleep. I started yelling at him, shaking him. He wasn't waking up, and it was a tough time. But yeah. Okay.
I'm sorry about that. I hate that. That's how you had to kind of find out. I didn't physically see a body. Mm-hmm. So that sucks that you had to be the one to actually find him. It's one of them things where I look back at it now, and it was kind of like a curse and a blessing, right? Mm-hmm. Because I can still see that dead body to this day. Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I was able to jump right into processing.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. That makes sense. That was actually going to be my next question.
Okay.
I was the following weeks after his passing.
Yeah. How
did you deal? Like, how was the processing for you?
So I got this thing in my family where I'm always the glue. You know what I mean? Like, I'm always the person that's trying to make sure that everybody's on the same page. So the couple of weeks after, I found myself really just trying to make sure everybody else was good. Right? I didn't really, from what people thought, is that I didn't really deal with it myself. I was dealing with everybody else. But like I was saying earlier, I actually really got to dive into processing that emotion quickly. Like when I found him there, like I instantly freaked out. So I lived in the moment, right? I didn't try to act like this wasn't happening. No. Like I processed this right then and there. It got so bad with the processing that like I didn't allow people to get close to me in that moment. Because first thing I did was call my brother and my mom, everybody, and as they came, like I had already freaked out and crying, all this other stuff. So my first instinct was to close my eyes and just circle the house. I walked around the house like 20 or 30 times.
Wow.
Just with that in my mind, right? So they came and they kept coming to grab me, and I just they couldn't get to me. So after I was walking around, then I kind of felt like that helped me release it.
Yeah.
Just living in it and being still for real. Like that right there just kind of helped me process it a little bit more and gave me the energy to be able to be there for other people. You know what I'm saying? So like to answer your question, the last few weeks was really me helping everybody else, but that was because I got the opportunity to really process it really and quickly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You literally have been answering all my questions before I can ask. My next question was going to be like, how was your circle? Like, how was the people around you? Did they, actually have a chance to comfort you? Or like you mentioned, you're one of those people that kind of, like to process stuff first for yourself.
Exactly.
So that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing is, like, the after the initial processing, I keep saying that word, processing, a lot, because it's very, very important. Like, I feel like we really have to make sure that we take time and we live in the emotion that we're in.
Right.
Because if not, then we have a tendency to be like, oh, this didn't happen, or oh, this isn't as bad as we thought it was.
Right.
And sometimes we really gotta live in it so we can understand how we, process things. So that's why I keep saying that. But nevertheless, for the last couple of weeks, for real, like, mom and my brother and my grandmother and aunt and all of them, they really were there for me, for sure. Even though I wasn't like very receptive, they tried their best to be there for me. But I also have a very overactive imagination, so I'm always thinking about what's next, like trying to figure out like how's my life gonna be different. You know what I mean? That's what my main focus at the time.
Yeah.
But my parents and my family really did their best to make sure that I was good, that my brother was good, and we turned out good. So shout out to them.
That's a blessing. What I can say is, I try at least, and you help me with this also sometimes, to try to look at the glass a little more half full than half empty.
Right.
When it comes to your situation, what I can say is you at least had him until you were 31.
Absolutely.
So you get to reflect on all the memories and how he was there and whatever else, your memories will serve for you.
Right.
For me, it was a little, not a little, a lot different. I don't even know if, not that I don't know, we never recovered a body. So till this day, there's still kind of like a question mark that haunts me. Because I feel like in my heart, okay, warning, tears. I feel like in my heart of hearts, I kind of know, because I have a connection with God, I kind of know, like, his spirit is no longer here.
Absolutely. And
his body is definitely no longer here. Like, I know that. But there's still the little girl in me that hopes, like, one day, I just know one day he's just going to come out of thin air and appear and be like, I've been looking for you guys. But the realistic part is like, girl, this man is dead. Like, if he was still here, there's no way you would have gone 20 plus years without
at least hearing
his presence being made, or him trying, because the type of man he was, no nonsense about his family. So there's no way we would have traveled over bodies of water, over countries, to try to get away from the situation, and he not attempt to find us because the situation was based on him. So that's the only thing that kind of kills that. But my imagination does go run wild at times, And grieving is a process. It's not nothing that just happens and we cry today and we reflect and tomorrow we're done. The wound never goes away. You just learn which band-aid to apply for the season. So when it comes to that, I can say genuinely just appreciate and be proud of all the memories and everything he left behind with you, because you had 31 years. I had 6. Not even. I had 5, maybe 4.5. And like I said, there was no body recovered because it was a genocide. For those of you that don't know, I think I've mentioned before, I am half Rwandese. I'm Congolese and Rwandese, and I think it was the 1998 or not. Half of my memory has blocked it out, to be completely honest. But it was the last genocide of the Congo during the 90s, where they were killing the Tutsi Rwandese, and I'm half Tutsi. So they came and got him out of the house. Everyone was asleep. By the way, he was in the military, so he was higher ranking. And the people that came and got him out the house were pretty much people that worked for him. Like I said, it had to be maybe 4.5, 5, and I heard noise, so I came and I laid in the corner of the hallway flat on my stomach to watch, because I knew he was gonna send me back to my room if he saw me in the living room. So I laid flat on my stomach and I watched. He always had I'll say a pew pew. It always had a pew pew in the house, because there's war, there's different things, and people keep pew pews to protect themselves anyway, people. But he had a pew pew. They disarmed it. They took the bullets out and they handed the pew pew back to my mom. And mind you, yet again, I'm laying flat on my stomach watching all of this happen. So this is the last image I have of him in my mind. They took the pew pew, handed it back to my mom. My mom was, of course, asking questions. What's going on? Da, 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 da. Why are you guys handling him? She was asking questions, trying to get more information, and they pretty much were like, we're going on a secret mission and we'll be back. And she's like, okay, well, he's your boss. Shouldn't he know about this mission? Oh, well, they just gave it to us now. Da, 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 da. Mind you, we had guards in the front of the gate. We had a gate. And you kind of have to drive up the driveway to come to the house. So we had guards in the gate. They went through the guards.
They was living good over there.
Listen, we were blessed. I'm not gonna lie. We were. Thank God. At that time, we were.
Say that.
We were being prepared for the struggle. That's all that was.
Yeah, real talk.
God already showed you what it feels like to live good. That way, you have the yearning to want more throughout life.
There you go.
They went through the guards. They went through the guards at the front door, because we had guards at the front of the house, the door. So they went through all of those guards to get to the house. So for me, I translated it as an inside job. Because no one knew he was Rwandese. He grew up in the Congo. He left Rwanda when he was maybe 15. So he lived the rest of his life in the Congo. So it was the only person that maybe knew was his family that lived in the Congo, and my mom, of course, because my mom got a mouthpiece on her. She was asking all the questions. But yeah, they came, they got him, and my mom says she remembered them pushing him into the back of the truck, and that's what signaled off to her that this one might be forever. And they took them to the concentration camps, and from the concentration camps, from what my mom told me, because I wasn't there, I was 4 or 5 years old, so I couldn't go out every time she went out. She found out what concentration camp he was at, and from routine visits and things like that, he was saying if they fed them bread and sardine, that day they were going to get unalived. And one of the days, he asked for my mom to bring my little brother, which was maybe 8 months at the time, not even a year old yet. And for a visit, because he was 8 months, still the only boy too. The only boy. There's 3 girls, 1 boy. So he's the only boy. He didn't even get time to spend time with his son, all the things. And my brother knew something was wrong too, because that whole night he cried nonstop the whole night. So she took him to see my dad, and he told her, leave. They gave me bread and sardine.
Okay. And
and that's that. We never saw a body. The concentration camps all got blown up. People would fake and act like they were him, writing letters to my mom as him to get money. All types of craziness. But nonetheless, like I said, because I knew what type of person he was, there's no way that he's walking this earth and he hasn't even tried to attempt to find us.
And you know, that's a beautiful thing, that you already know the type of man that your father was. Even though you were such a young age, you knew him.
Yeah.
And then so with that, for me, what that does for you is it helps you be able to be like, okay, this is the type of man I want in my life. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Somebody that's so family oriented, that's going to be willing to protect us even with their own life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's beautiful to be able to see that from a parent, bro.
Yeah.
Like, for real. So love that, and make sure you keep that close to you. I know you only said you seen him for 5-6 years. Like, you saw a lot in that time. So may God bless your heart. That's a lot of
I also knew, like, my clock is ticking.
Right.
Let me go ahead and do all that I can
even
to
if it
leave.
wasn't a conscious thing.
Yes, to leave my blueprint.
Yeah.
And the blueprint is so blue because it's weird how even sometimes I catch myself, like, certain mannerisms. I'm very much like my mom, like carbon copy, but certain mannerisms as far as my work ethic, as far as like my creativeness. He used to draw planes.
Real.
Like,
That makes sense.
it goes so deep to who I am. That's how I kind of know, like, we kind of were connected so much for those 4 to 5 years. There's no way I wouldn't have felt it almost if there was actual hope of us finding him. And my mom got a phone call that someone confirmed that he actually saw him get unalive.
Okay.
Like, stop letting people steal money from you. He's not alive. He's dead. So
I think it's natural for us to kind of be in denial.
Yes, absolutely.
After, because something similar happened to me too, right? Where even to this day, sometimes I have dreams that my pop is still alive, like that. I didn't see him in a body bag, like that. He just unzipped one day and walked out. Yeah, it was just this whole elaborate plan.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And God knows that's how I wish that was the case, but it's natural to feel that way.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to make sure that people understood that, because I feel like when you feel that way, that can be draining, but when you understand that it's a natural part of the process, then it makes it easier to deal with.
So growing up was tough. The moments where you need your dad, prom, I didn't have nobody to bully no little boy about, taking me to prom, teaching me how to drive. I would see little girls with their dad all the time, and then how you said, your brain kind of just wanted to tell you, like, we zipped him up, but he got out somehow.
Yeah. Grieving is different for everybody, right? Like, it took me maybe about an hour or two to grieve, and I was cool from there. You know what I mean? But again, it's because I sat in it, and I said, hey, I'm gonna deal with this right now so I can have the strength to help everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So, like, whatever your process is with grieving, like, take it seriously.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
please.
And if you can, take note so that you know how to grieve in the future more effectively. And then one thing that really helped me grieve, though, was I've always had this mindset and this thought, because I have friends that have lost people. I've lost one of my best friends when I was like 12, But one of the things that helped me grieve quicker was the understanding that, his physical not here, but he's still here spiritually. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, spiritually and energetically, he's still here. Like, we've all heard that energy can't be created nor destroyed. Right. And we are energetic beings. So just because his body is not here doesn't mean that I still can't feel his presence. And I feel his presence to this day. Every time I go on a photo shoot, I feel his presence. Literally every single time.
Wow.
So it's just like, okay.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it's just like one of those things where you gotta, like, change your perspective and use what you know, or use that emotion and transmute it to something positive.
Right.
Because all of it is just energy at the end of the day. So that whole mindset and thought process really helped me kind of get over it quickly, at least emotionally. And then now I can still have my little times where I might not feel too good or whatever the case may be. But just keeping that in your mind will definitely help you out. For sure, especially when you losing somebody that's close to you. That's not even just your parent, maybe your best friend. Even like divorce.
Oh yeah, that
divorce is like
it's a death. It's a death of a relationship.
Exactly. But it's the same thing. Right? When you can change your perspective on it and be like, okay, I might not have this person physically anymore, but like like we talked about, we have all these memories, we have all these things that we've been through together, and like that'll help kind of shape, you know, your future and what you can use with you do with that energy at the end of the day. So
yeah, that was good. Thank you for that.
Yeah,
that was really
sure.
good. So I'm gonna ask another question before we run out of time. I feel like we've pretty much dived into this, but how has the loss shaped you now, or where you are now?
So at first, I felt like it was giving me a sense of purpose. Like I was like, oh, my dad's not here, so you know, I'm just gonna go hard. I'm gonna go crazy because, you know, with him not being here, I have an excess of energy, right? That was how I felt at first. But now, it's like, it's more one of those things that, okay, I'm using his life as a blueprint for mine. So the things that he did great, I'm trying to bring that into my life. The things that he didn't do so great, I'm trying to make sure I separate myself from that. So that's one of the reasons why, you know, with photography, I'm diving full in. This is my this is my first time where, this is my first year being a full-time entrepreneur. Yeah. Right? And it's been a little bit rough. Yeah. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, like, I saw it before. My dad was an entrepreneur. So using that energy and understanding that, yeah, it's going to take a minute to where you get to where you want to get, it's been helping me day to day. So that's helped shape me as well. But then also, like, my dad wasn't the most healthy person, especially with his habits. So taking that and understanding, like, okay, if my dad was more diligent with his habits, maybe he would still be here. Yeah. Maybe our family would be in a different place. So that's one of the things that I'm really trying to lock in on right now. You know what I mean? So, so like I said, just taking his life and using it, because that's what he was there for. It's for us to learn from. So, so yeah, that's, I want to say this one of the ways that shaped me now. But then also, with me having a daughter, shout out girl dad.
Girl dad.
It's really making me dive into being a dad and what that really means and what I want for my daughter. Yeah. I'm trying to keep my dad's life in perspective and take some of the things that he taught me and bring that into being a dad. Yeah. So that's been huge. Even though he wasn't here to meet her, he would have been absolutely amazing. He would have been absolutely like, he would have been crying because he looks just like her, just light skin version. It's crazy. But yeah, so his death has really shaped my life in a positive way. I can't really think of a negative way that it's shaped me at all. And I think that's just because of my perspective and how I chose to, you know, use the energy that I was given. Because that's really what it is. When somebody close to you passes away, you just have an excess of energy to pull from. So it's up to you to use it the way you should be using it. So yeah, I hope that answered your question.
That was good. That was a great answer, and I can genuinely say I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Having been an entrepreneur my whole life, it's not easy. I don't know why everybody want to be one. Like, it's not easy. It has its very, very rough seasons where you kind of just got to pull from yourself, like your inner strength, to kind of keep going. And there's no playbook on this in any industry. It's kind of you wing it until. Right. And God always provides.
You either wing it or you find a mentor.
That too. As well. The
mentor is really the blueprint for real. When you find a mentor that's willing to pour into you, that'll help you get to the next level. I've yet to find a mentor. So hey, if you're in digital marketing, advertising, and you're a photographer as well, let's chop it up. I need a mentor. We're trying to go to the next level. But yes,
extra plug.
Having a mentor definitely helps that out as well. Yeah. But, sorry, I just had to throw that.
No, that was good. Because I can't say that I've actually not had a mentor. I feel like God always placed people in the right seasons at the right time. Right. But yes, mentors are very important. Absolutely. And as far as the death shaping my life, it kind of put me in a space where I live life fully. Like, I wear my heart on my sleeve. People say that, but he's a testament to it. I cry on the spot. And I'm not ashamed.
She been doing a good job. She ain't cried one time.
I ain't cried. What?
She doing her thing. Good.
And I've made it like a life decision to kind of just feel and live through everything in the moment. So I love out loud. I tell people I love them. Like, every chance that I get if I remember to tell them, because you literally never know.
Right.
We wouldn't have thought that he was gonna come get pulled out of the house and we would never see him again.
Right.
Just like, you wouldn't have thought that you would have walked in.
Exactly.
God forbid anyone else does. But we just didn't expect that to happen. So I always keep in the back of my mind to always make sure I tell my friends, my loved ones, anybody, if you've been around me more than a year, I love you in some way, shape, or form. So I'm gonna tell you, I love you and see you next time. So moving on to the next question. How can people support someone who's grieving a parent?
I think when you're grieving your parent, I think one of the main things you can do is just let them be. Let them grieve in whatever way it is.
Yeah.
As long as they're not harming themselves.
Right.
Or harming others.
Yeah.
Let them grieve, right?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we always want to project how we feel on other people. We want to project, oh, this is how I dealt with it. This is how you should deal with it. No, we're not all the same. Like I say this all the time, and I got it from my brother Nero. Man, we live in one planet, but we have 8 billion different universes. Right. So you can't expect for nobody to deal with something the same way you did. You know what I mean? So that's the main way I would say. Another thing I could say that'll help somebody that would have helped me, I'll just say it like that would have helped me, is maybe like if you have the opportunity to kind of like know ahead of time that this person is going to leave or this person might not be here, prepare for that. You know what I'm saying? I wish I would have been more proactive in doing what I needed to do as far as just like insurance and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So like if you do have the opportunity to know ahead of time, like, dive into that. And sometimes I feel like even with African parents, right, they don't want to talk about that type of stuff. But for us, when we know, we got to do. You know what I'm saying? That's one of those curses with being wise. You got to actually put the things that you know into action. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So those are the main couple of ways I would say.
That was good. And I'll just piggyback on that, especially culturally for Africa. God forbid, we're not inviting evil spirits, but like let's be real. Times have changed, and if we can have these conversations to where we can put things in place to where no one's back is up against the wall when that time does come, that is very helpful. So I agree with that as well. Anything you'd want to leave listeners with as far as grieving a parent goes?
The main thing, like I talked about earlier, is that energy can't be created or destroyed, right? We are energetic beings. Yeah. That means that no matter what we do, our energy is going to carry, whether we're here or not, whether we're in this physical body or not. This body that we live in is literally just a vessel. Like, we are much deeper than what we see, right? Yeah. So with that being said, understand that when a parent does leave or anyone in your life does leave, understand that the only thing that you're missing is that physical 3-dimensional relationship. You know what I mean? Like, we all have a mental and spiritual relationship with our parents, and these things can be held on to even when they're not here. You know what I mean? So cling to the things that you love the most about that person. Love them unconditionally. Talk to them. Yeah. Like, my dad is probably sitting right here, proud as fuck that I'm talking about him in this light. And that's one of those things because I talk to him all the time. Like, I don't see him, but we have conversations. Whether I'm hearing the words he's saying, because sometimes it happens. Sometimes I might hear words he's saying. But just acting like they're here. Now, that might sound weird. Like, that might sound like toxic positivity, right? But sometimes we need that. Sometimes we gotta force ourselves to feel the way we want to feel. Because at the end of the day, emotions, that stands for energy and motion. Yeah. All right. So if you can do anything or figure out something that can help you move your energy to a different place, do that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But that's the main thing I would say is just, stay connected to them. Understand the energy is not created nor destroyed, and hold on to the good things. And if there are some negative things, hold on to those too, if you can learn from them. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I would just say allow yourself in all aspects. Allow yourself to feel, allow yourself to cry, allow yourself to mourn, allow yourself, like, it's a never ending thing. Like, they won't physically ever come back to you. So if you feel your feelings, feel them. Allow them to process, journal, cry, call a friend, do what you need to do as far as allowing yourself that process. Don't be so hard on yourself. You've never lost a parent before, so you don't know what it's like. You've never been here before, so allow that. Allow the new person that you've become to be, and it's okay. And yeah, it's just literally a process. Like, there's no playbook to how to do this. I feel like it's an experience, just like anything else. And don't suppress your feelings, because that can lead to other things. Don't suppress your feelings, because that can lead to other things. And if you feel like it's getting to a point where you can't handle it, seek guidance. Talk to a therapist, talk to your pastor, talk to, if you have another living parent, talk to that parent about it, talk to your siblings, brother, sister, friend, someone. There's all chat GPT. Like, we have so many resources nowadays, and that I feel like we might have not had when we were younger. Even as adults who's losing parents, I feel like for y'all it probably, I don't want to say it's a little bit worse, because there's no equating losing a parent to anything on no matter what age you lost them at. But I do feel for y'all, because y'all got to experience them. We're grieving the what ifs for the most part, and a little bit of time that we did get. But for adults, losing their parents is like you literally losing someone you've known since you were born, out of them or from them, or been around them since you were born. So that's the one person that's always been consistent since your memory can, form.
Can I say something?
So, yeah.
So you talked about it earlier, and you're alluding to it here too. When somebody passes away, like, you have a void. Like that void, it can be so deep and never ending. Some people try to avoid the void. They try to avoid feeling that void, because it's like, I don't want to forget. But I think one thing we can do is actively try to fill that void. But it's like doing it with something that's going to help you remember them in a good light.
I agree.
For example, one of the things that I've done to help me fill that void is the gym. Right. Again, like I said earlier, one of the things that I wish my dad would have been doing, or he was more conscious of, is his health. So me being on his health journey, paying attention to what I consume, whether that's food, what I watch, what I listen to, as well as my habits as far as going to the gym, how I talk to people. All these things really come back to me wanting to be a better version of my dad. You know what I mean? So you can actively fill that void, but just do it in a positive way.
Yeah, that was great. I can't even piggyback on that, because that stands for what it stands for. Don't be like me. I try not to feel all this, and I hate that I do this. I'm talking in circles right now, but I try to convince myself it's been so long, get over it, and that's not okay. Like, it don't matter how long it's been. My partner always tells me this. It don't matter how long it's been. Since it was something that was traumatic to you, it will always feel like it was just yesterday. So you have to allow yourself to cry. It's fine. Cry. It don't matter if you cried 20 times this year about it. If that's how you feel, that's just how you feel. But do feel the void. But I buy things for people, and that's what makes me feel better. And then when I crash and burn and actually cry, it's not for a week. It's more so for 30 minutes instead of for a week and just being depressed and no one hears from me and I'm missing in action, everybody wondering where I'm at. So yes, absolutely fill the void with good things, because you will fill that void. It will never go away. The person literally physically isn't there anymore. So I definitely agree. Thank you so much for that. That was good. That's it. If I could leave you guys with anything, pray. Seek the Lord. There's nothing anyone can tell you to make you feel better about this. He knows all. He knows why.
And that's so powerful. Like, that is so powerful for real, because that's one of the things that we have to focus on too, is shaping our lens. I'll use lens because I'm a photographer. But like, you know, depending on where life is, we have the opportunity to change our lens. We can change the lens to whatever we want it to be. So that's very important, because I'm starting to talk in circles too. I think you done rubbed off on me a little bit. And I do that all the time for real.
It's okay.
But yeah, so really just like making sure that we tune our frequency, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We change our lens to what we want it to be. Because like, if you're not actively shaping the world that you see, the things that you consume will shape them for you. You know what I mean? So like that's why I'm so gung ho on like, oh, I can't. This might sound weird, but I can't watch sports the same no more. Like, I used to be one of those people that, you know, I'm watching sports, basketball, football 3-4 times a day. I'm watching multiple games. Like, this shit ain't doing nothing for me. So
No, you're good.
You know what I mean? But like, it ain't doing nothing for me. So one of the things that really helped me out with that, like you were talking about, was this is the thought. I was talking to find it. Found it. So essentially, when we're praying, we're focusing on the things that we want to focus on. You know what I mean? We want to focus on the things that's going to help us grow. So consistently seeking God will help us find what it is that we need to be doing to fill that void, to feel better in the moment, or whatever the case may be. Because when you're consistently seeking God, what you're doing is you're yielding your mind, body, and soul to Him, right? So when you do that, you get downloads from Him that'll tell you exactly what you need to be doing. And then that'll give you cocky faith to know that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. So I don't know if I kind of went off on a tangent right there.
No, you didn't.
But like, I think when it comes to losing a parent, when you're consistently locked in with God, you're consistently seeking God, He will let you know what you need to be doing to feel better in that moment, but then also help somebody else go through what they're going through. That makes sense.
Look, I always start preaching.
That's about
But come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I'll give you rest for your soul.
There you go.
Pray. He'll give you rest for your soul. You lay your burdens on Him, and He'll give you rest for your soul. It might not be the immediate fix that you're looking for, that you might need, but there will always be signs of His remnant in it somewhere. Like, that's exactly what I prayed. That's crazy. That's exactly what I prayed about. But before we close out, I do want to give you your flowers. As a black man, I'm sure your dad is very proud. A great husband, a great father, a great friend. Since the first day we've met, we literally been we've been locked in, and I'm all over the place with my mind, and he understands all the blah 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 I say, and he puts all the pieces of the puzzle
I be trying
together.
to understand. I be trying.
For the most part, he gets it, but nonetheless, I'm sure he's just as proud of you as I am, as your wife is, as your mom is, as your family is. I don't know what it's like to be a man. I can't ever put myself in you guys' shoes, but from being a woman and being a daughter, I can only imagine what it's like to be a son to lose their father. Because I still have my mommy. I can still call my mommy, you know. I can still cry to my mom. We can still have that bond, girl bond. But they can't have that when they lose their dad. So I genuinely want to give you your flowers for still remaining an exceptional man regardless of circumstances. Because I feel like some people do use death as a ploy to kind of just lash out and be angry. And would that make the people that left you behind proud? Not really. So hats off to him. Thank you for being great. Thank you for choosing to be great. Thank you for choosing to stay whole. Thank you for choosing to still love. Thank you for choosing to remain centered when you don't have to. You can give us whatever you want, and you would be within your rights, because that's a valid feeling. Losing a father is not a joke. It's not nothing anyone looks forward to or see themselves in, but life happens, and I definitely commend you for weathering the storm as you have. Thank you so much for tuning in. This was a very heartfelt, touchy, mushy gushy episode. And to anyone that's lost a parent, you're in our prayers. We love you. You got this. We're here. You can comment. When you try to put a book a photo shoot, put that in the comments.
I'll let the boy.
And I'll link all of his socials. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I love you guys. See you on the next episode of Salon Talks with Sophie.
Peace.
Peace.